Now, Stormwatch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Well, I'm actually Oliver Smith, but we do have high clouds in the vicinity right now, and you can see those clouds moving from the west towards the east. We do have some rain already showing up along the Oregon coast, mostly north of Curry County, but that'll be changing here in the next several hours. A pretty strong system is developing offshore. There's a lot of energy with this system and the very cold air behind this system as well. So we're going to be looking at wind, rain, mountain snow beginning tonight and lasting through the entire day for tomorrow. Forecast for today, we're going to be looking at 60 to 65 degrees east of the Cascades. It should remain dry. We're going to start seeing some precipitation up towards Crater Lake developing later this afternoon. West of the Cascades, you can see temperatures right around 70 degrees from Grants Pass all the way to Mount Shasta City. We'll be looking at rain developing late in the day today. Rain developing this afternoon along the Oregon coast, high temperatures only into the mid-50s. For tonight, we're going to be looking at lows 30s and 40s east of the Cascades and pretty much 30s and 40s west of the Cascades as well. Nobody getting super cold, but temperatures generally ranging from about 36 to 41 degrees for tonight. And we'll be looking at plenty of rain as well. We'll cover that here in a bit, but in terms of the umbrella forecast for today, you don't need it right now, but if you're going to be going out and about later on this evening, you're definitely going to need it because initially we'll start seeing some rain. It'll fall into some drier air, but then everything's going to get all saturated and we're going to really start looking at some rain this evening. It's going to be pretty blustery for this system as it approaches our area for later on this afternoon and all the way through tomorrow night. Initially, snow levels are going to be really high, 7,500 feet, dropping to about 2,500 feet as we go through Saturday night. So big areas that are going to be impacted are going to be the Cascades and parts of Siskiyou County, at least in terms of the passes. It won't be a significant event, but it'll be enough to be noticed, especially for this time of year. So our stormcast showing that we're going to see rain developing later on this afternoon along the Oregon coast. Initially, this rain will be evaporating before it hits the ground here in the Rogue Valley, but that'll quickly change over as everything saturates. We're going to be looking at some moderate to heavy rain for tonight. This is about 1 o'clock in the morning. So you can see those orange colors indicating some pretty heavy rain. Now, as we get closer towards tomorrow morning, you can notice there's a lot more blue on the map because snow levels will start to come down quite a bit, but we're going to be looking at widespread moderate to heavy precipitation. All of this will start to shift off towards the east as we get towards Saturday afternoon. So eventually the rain will become a little less heavy and a little bit more in terms of a showery kind of a pattern. By Saturday evening, by getting closer towards sunset, we're definitely going to be looking at showers, and then we get towards Saturday morning, and then things are calming down a little bit more. So again, initially really high snow levels, it won't be a problem early on, but as we go through, well, pretty much tonight, essentially hour by hour, it's going to be dropping pretty much every single hour once we get past midnight. So initially to be about 4,000 feet around midnight or so, dropping to about 2,500 feet by the time, maybe if you're up early, like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then kind of fluctuating throughout the day on Saturday. So here's our snowfall forecast. We're going to be looking at potentially a couple of inches east for east side passes. We could be looking at about 4 to 6 inches over for Lake of the Woods. Now remember, a lot of this is initially going to melt. The warm temperatures on the roadways are pretty warm, and it's going to take a lot of snow for that to actually change, and we're not going to get that much. But 6 to 8 inches over by Crater Lake, could be looking at a couple of inches on Siskiyou Summit. But again, this impacts are going to be pretty difficult in that sense. Not really going to be all that difficult, pardon me. But in terms of our rainfall for today, again, we'll see that rain initially developing along the Oregon coast. And then as we go through today, you can see we're going to be looking at a pretty good amount of rain along the Oregon coast. And eventually we could be getting 1/10 of an inch of rain here for today. But as we go through the entire day on Saturday, it is going to be really, really wet. In fact, we could easily be looking at 1 inch of rain here in the Rogue Valley. So here's your forecast for the Oregon coast. Temperatures staying into the 50s for the next several days. We finally warm up and dry out by the middle part of next week. So that'll be pretty nice for people getting ready for want to see the sun again. For Northern California, temperatures 70 today, drastically cooler on Saturday, a good 20-degree drop. Rainy and windy, and then eventually we dry out beginning on Tuesday. Klamath Basin will have some pretty cold overnight lows, dropping back into the 20s. Highs going from the 60s today to the 40s over the weekend, and then beginning back to the 50s on Monday. Cascades, we'll be looking at some rain and snow again late in the day today, and then we'll be looking at more snow on Saturday. Much cooler temperatures, only around 40. And we keep the precipitation going at least to early next week. And the Rogue Valley, 71 today, so pretty nice for most of the day. And then it's going to be pretty wet and soggy on Saturday and a slow warm up throughout the week.